Good morning. Sometimes I wonder what's going wrong, especially at the top echelons. When I see on one side the supposed role models, the political leaders, the movers and the shakers of society, acting in a manner that is extremely good, shows freedom of thought. On the other side, I find people in identical situations behaving in a manner that is derogatory to human dignity. The two recent incidents took place, and they took place just yesterday. The Queen of Netherlands, Dutch, dressed herself in a jacket that was adorned with swastika. Now, people have come to believe that swastika is a sign of oppression, it's a sign of bigotry, and a sign of division, which is not so. Anyway, when the Queen was wearing this coat, there was a cry, all around cry of indignation, cry of anger, resentment. There were protests galore, and not only from the people of Netherlands, but from all the so-called people concerned with the human rights. They said, well, swastika represents Hitler, and she should not have worn it. And her response was very sensible. She said, look here, simply because one mad person used a symbol does not destroy the creativity of that symbol. And then she referred to Lord Ganesha. And swastika is a bit altered sign of Lord Ganesha, the Hindu god. But the acolytes of political correctness didn't like it, and the protests continued. On the other side, the Governor General of Canada went out of his way to say that the success of the girl, or the lady who fought for hijab, shows the strength of Canadian character. He singled out two incidents, or two events. One was the great welcome to the Syrian refugees, which he shows the inclusive attitude of the Canadians. And the second, he said that the success of petition against hijab was a vindication of Canadian values. On both these points, he was wrong. Okay, welcoming Syrian refugees, though I don't personally condone it, he could not have and he should not have condemned, because as the Governor General of the present government, he has to follow the policies laid down by the Prime Minister. Unfortunately, he went against the policy of the then Prime Minister, who appointed him, Stephen Harper. Condemning the political leadership of the previous time is beyond the scope of the Governor General's rights and responsibilities. It shows only one thing, and that is a desire to be sycophant and flatter to the Prime Minister so that he continues as a Governor General for a longer time to come. A Governor General has three rights: right to inform, right to know, and right to warn. If he was so concerned about the hijab issue, why did he not talk to the Prime Minister at that time? And as a matter of fact, the records show that he used to have a monthly meeting with the Prime Minister Harper. He could have expressed his mind at that time, and if he was really feeling bad, he should have resigned. But making a statement at this time shows utter lack of moral fiber. It also shows utter disregard to the constitutional norms, where the Governor General is supposed to be away from the controversies. And now look, another curious politically incorrect attitude, in Russia, a cafe has opened, and it's called President Putin Cafe. So far, so good. But then you go out of the cafe, you want to go to the restrooms, and the block of the restroom is called NATO block. The washrooms are cafe. And you go inside, there is a roll of toilet paper, and each portion of the toilet paper bears the face of Obama. This President Cafe is absolute vindication of the fight that Putin is waging against Obama. Political correctness set aside. On the other side, President Obama has been always been politically correct, but his politically correctness faltered when he was face to face with the statements made by Trump and his desire to promote Hillary Clinton. As a serving president, he should keep away from the hustle and bustle of the electioneering. Agreed that he belongs to a Democratic Party and he would like his policies to continue. Also agreed that he has a right to go and participate. But as a president, he has absolutely no right to condemn. He made a statement that many world leaders had written to him protesting against the statements made by Trump. The world leaders have no right to say a protest. And if the protest is a contrite protest, it's an internal matter in the country. And if the people don't like what Trump is saying, they can easily throw him out. But to take refuge under the specious plea that the foreign leaders are protesting only shows one thing, and that is a desire to create an environment that is inimical to the success of the presidential candidate Donald Trump, whose face or statements or attitudes are not liked. Point is, how long would we continue to harbor under these conflicting attitudes? And then now comes another news from New York. Do you know, Mayor Giuliani had cleaned New York, but the new set of rules which are proposed the day before yesterday in New York make a mockery of all human sense of dignity and equity. Some people wonder, have they lost all sense of balance? That's a matter of fact. Now imagine the new laws propose people can drink in public on the streets. Okay? People can urinate on the roads. And I saw a guy, they put up a video, a homeless guy sitting on the roadside, and then he jumps up, goes to the middle of the road, starts urinating, the traffic stops, he finishes urinating, goes back, and then the traffic proceeds. And another thing that they are permitting is public masturbation. Now, this is absolutely politically correctness run amok, gone mad. And the plea they take is, well, these things are normal to the culture of some people of color. Now the word is people of color. Who are they? That they want to identify. On the one side they say there should be no discrimination against the people on any basis. On the other side they are creating conditions. Secondly, there is always a difference between decency and decorum. When you are passing a law which promotes indecency, which violates the human sense of dignity, when you are making public all the sordid, sorry, unpalatable aspects of life, that is not being politically correct. That is being mad. That's not a sign of healthy attitudes. That is a sign of running amok, lunacy, and idiocy. Our political leaders seem to have lost all sense of justice. I've given you 4 examples. Out of these, one shows a commitment to the freedom of thought and action without in any way impinging on the dignity. The second is a desire to be a sycophant at the cost of sacrificing the fundamental basics of the judgment. Another is political chicanery and of making fun, okay, that can be taken up. And the last is absolute degradation of human values through a system of legal means, permitting people masturbation in public, permitting people to urinate on the roads, is a reversal of the progress of civilization. It is bad to animal kingdom. Are we really the Homo sapiens? Are we really capable of being termed as the sanest of the species ever created on the world? Do we have a right to be termed people with sense of discrimination and sense of any thought and logic? Do we have any right to be called human beings? I think if this trend continues and the unbridled pandering to the stupidities and inanities would result only in a situation where might would be right, where all decency, all human values, all so-called right actions would be sacrificed at the altar of cheap pandering to the sordid attitudes, and maybe it's a death wish of a civilization so that possibly a new civilization is born. Because when such things continue ad nauseam, they are nauseating, then the result is only an absolute change, and that is what is required today. As far as the governments are concerned, I do not care whether it is dictatorship or democracy, because as Pope said long back, for forms of government let fools contest. Whatever is best, administered is best. And unfortunately, these political correct people do not administer best. People want safety, and that safety is not provided. People want peace, and that is the peace of grave that is ensured. People want normal human discourse, and that is denied to them in the name of being politically correct, which I call at times just a prostitution of thought and action. I know there would be many takers who would say, well, those people are uncivilized, they have not been exposed to this system. That's not acceptable. Today you are permitting urinating on the roads, tomorrow you will allow sex on the roads. And then what's the difference between you and the dogs or other animals? Would anything shame these politicians? Hope so, that better sense dawns. Thank you.